Hello and welcome all you happy cosmic campers. This is Silvianne and we're here with this week's version of the lunation letter that begins with the last quarter moon. This is the last quarter in the lunation that began with the Aries new moon back last month, and it's ending with the Taurus new moon at the end of this coming week. So let's get right into it. This is certainly a very, very powerful week. So we start on Monday, April 21st. Oh, and by the way, this calendar, the times are UTC, Universal Time. So it's about 7 hours later than it is here on the Pacific coast of the United States where I am. So some of these times are you'll see that the Sun square Mars is happening there on the 21st. And then just a couple minutes later, the exact last quarter moon are at 1 in the morning UTC time. So they'll actually be in the evening here in California. So we have really powerful alignments going on with Mars. So I think we'll start with that this week. And it's presaged here with that sun. So at the fourth quarter moon, when the moon in Aquarius is squaring the sun that's just recently moved into Taurus, moving in on the 19th. Today, as I'm recording this, actually, the sun is square Mars is squaring that lunation, that moon sun. And Mars is also opposite to Pluto. So you can see that because the moon later in the day is going to conjunct Pluto. So that means that we have Mars, that kind of outward yang energy, recently moved into Leo, is opposite to Pluto. That energy of going deep to bring up to the light all that which is hidden. A sign of deep shamanic death and rebirth transformation. So in any astrological measure, this is a challenging configuration. And we need to remember that this is all in the service of bringing us closer to uncovering our true life force energy, if you will. It's all happening in those fixed signs that we in this paradigm look at as the signs of healthy self-interest or self-exploration. Mars is in his Cancer overstory synodic cycle that began in January. He's moved out of that first birth and emergence phase and is now into the second phase, which is the questing phase. It's like the hero's phase when he's going through a series of challenges. And indeed, before he even reaches his first moon conjunction, which is going to be the following week, we'll talk about that in the next lunation letter, he's already facing these challenges of the square to the sun and the opposition to Pluto. So this is definitely on the world stage, and for each of us individually, we're exploring at a deeper level what might it look like to really have a more nurturing version of the masculine, to accept a soft heart-centered masculine that wants to protect others, and also to extend that traditional range of protection, my home, my tribe, my family, to a planetary family, which is really what I believe is one of the markers, what is happening at this time of great change on the earth. We're having the experiences that we need to have, as divisive as they may seem, and they certainly are, to bring us into a deeper awareness that we are really all one cosmic family. So Mars began this overstory in January in the sign of Cancer. He's been there for many months, and now he's moved into Leo. And so on this questing, that journey of that Leo archetype of radiant, radical self-love, of being the creator on the wheel, of making it up as you go along. So it's bringing in that healthy self-agency to inform him and allow him to soften those boundaries and meet the resistance that he's obviously going to be meeting, that archetypal masculine in unfolding an expression that has not been in favor for these many thousands of years of the dominator paradigm here at the depths of the Kali Yuga, which we have just emerged from. So we are just now turning back towards the light, back towards integration and understanding of our oneness and our divine essence as souls. So And it's also an out of bound moon. You can see it moves back into bounds finally on Monday, the 21st, but it's been out of bounds for several days. So this weekend with all this happening, all this energy happening with Mars. So the best recommendation I can give you is to go out in the night sky. Mars is very visible right now. Excuse me. When you go out just after sunset, he'll be high in the sky, setting a little bit after midnight. He's just past those bright stars in the twin constellation of Castor and Pollux. So he's exited the hoop, that sacred hoop, that place of generation in the sky, and is moving towards the beehive cluster. So what do we have to learn from Mars? What is the journey of surrender to old ways of being that he might be going through and that we might be going through to bring online for ourselves a more healthy version of the inner masculine, whether we are male or female. In the body, we all have masculine and feminine inside of us. Then on Wednesday, the 23rd, Sun squares Pluto. So again, more of that configuration of Sun, Mars, Pluto in square to each other. And on what I also wanted to mention on the 21st is the peak of the Lyrid meteor shower. So this is a shorter shower than some of them. So, you know, but if you want to try to catch it at the peak, then I would say go out on Sunday in the evening until just after midnight. You want to try to catch it before that that fourth quarter moon rises around midnight, a little after midnight. So that they won't, you know, they won't be masked by the brightness of the moon. Then on the Thursday, April 24th, we have Venus is conjuncting the North Node. So again, the other thing that's, all this energy is happening with Mars, and there's also this whole energy happening with Venus. Venus has also began a new synodic cycle just on the 29th of March, just a few weeks ago, in the sign of Pisces. So we have a lot of water going on here with the Cancer overstory for Mars and then the Pisces overstory for Venus. And this is the first time in well over 100 years that we have had this archetypal exploration of the feminine Pisces, deeply intuitive, connected, swimming in the sea of all oneness, numinous, mystical dreamer, healer, feminine. And it's an incredible incredible confluence in the sky that all astrologers are talking about, that not only is Venus there at this beginning of a whole new 19-month cycle, which really has reverberations for 100 years, and I would even say for 500 years of the master Venus cycle, that she just happens to be doing this when the North Node is there, Saturn is there, Mercury is there, Neptune is there. So, of course, in the real world, this can play out as confusion, which I think we're seeing. And I know in my own life, I've certainly been feeling that, almost like too many options and not having my usual sense of a way through or even clear next steps. So one of the things this is bringing up for us is compassion and self-compassion in that process, and being willing to sit with a little bit and wait. And even if it's just one small next step, to trust that if you take that, the rest will unfold from that, and keep attempting to discern by going within rather than looking for someone on the outside to give us those answers. So on Thursday, and also it's also on Thursday the 24th, our time, US time, that Venus will be conjunct Saturn first of all, and then she's going to be conjunct the moon. And this is the first of the gates that she goes through in this 19-month synodic cycle overview. She's starting, the first part of the cycle is the descent phase. So she's been called to make the underworld descent, to die to what she is so that something new can be born, to die to our old versions of maybe our old distorted stories of what it means to have that connection. What is keeping us from feeling our deep connection with God, Goddess, all that is, spirit. And so this first descent gate is at that crown chakra, which is about that connection. And I really encourage you to go out. She'll be close to the moon on she's in the morning sky. So look for her, look for her on even starting Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning. I know I set the alarm to get up very early this morning so that I could see her. There was clear skies predicted, and I was able to see her. If you listen to the first version of my lunation letter, I was encouraging each of us to tune into when was our Venus rising, our personal Venus rising in this synodic cycle when we first see her. And this was when 3 weeks later from when she became visible was when I first saw her. So I do feel a bit of a sense of rebirth today, and that new journey truly launching for me in a deep way. And again, just incredible that she's going to be conjunct Saturn just a few hours, exactly conjuncted a few hours before that. So that means, of course, she is in the morning sky with Saturn. Venus is so bright, she's reaching her maximum brightness on Sunday the 27th, just a couple days later. So I have not, I was not able to see Saturn this morning. Saturn is very dim right now, and so it's probably lost in that glow of Venus, but you can look and certainly tune in and know that it's there. And also Mercury is there. So she's accompanied by that messenger Mercury, helping her uh, to re, to expand her consciousness, receive those messages of what she's needing to let go of. How do I find grace and compassion? To let go of the old stories, that's partly Saturn, so that new stories, new structures can be built to support us over the next 19 months. And I really believe it's an opening. It's certainly a window from now until the next Venus heliacal rise at the spring equinox 8 years from now. And I believe it's seeding a whole 500-year cycle, if not a larger one. So these are big transformative times we're in. If you have that intuition, I'm here to affirm it for you. And our job is to not get swept up by the outer drama. We can pay attention to it to the extent that we feel we need to. And our job is to really go within again and find that wisdom within to inform us and keep us going forward. Then Saturday, the 26th, the moon is making its monthly conjunction of Chiron and Aries. Again, we've been talking about this for quite a while. That re-understanding the healing of the distortions of that Aries warrior for love. How do we bring that back online to support what we most value in life? Then on Sunday, the 27th, Mars is going to be, the Mars is opposition to Pluto is exact. So again, this whole week, that Mars, Pluto, Sun, yes, conflict and frustration and feeling that these different energies may be at odds with each other. And again, it's all designed to bring us deeper into, it's important to know what I want and what I don't want. It's from starting in that place that I can make changes in my life. So that's another marker of that. And that's going to be, you can see that that's 1:05 UTC time. So it would really be the afternoon, evening before here in the US. And then the Taurus New Moon is in the evening UTC time, which would be around noontime here in the US, around midday. And then that Taurus New Moon again is starting a whole nother lunation cycle. And I'll be talking about that more in the next letter, in the next lunation letter. And I feel supported by invoking these Taurean energies right now. We've had, again, for months now, this lineup, this incredible concentration of energies in Pisces, the last sign, and in Aries, the first sign. So we're really playing with that liminal space of endings and beginnings, with just a smaller cycle mirror of that larger cycle that we've been going through as humanity, and on the cusp of that change of the 26,000-year timeline. And coming now into this Taurus sun season, zodiac season, when Taurus moves into to that earth sign. And Taurus wants to bring spirit fully into matter. to enjoy it. It's the receiver, the quintessential receiver on the wheel. That's the place that it holds, modeling for the rest of us. How do we receive? And so I feel a kind of an opening and taking a deep breath with that, being supported by that. And so it's important to check in this whole process we're going through, and especially this week of a lot of strong energies, to remember to breathe and to drop into our hearts and to drop into our bodies, just feeling ourselves incarnate on the earth, and what does our body want, and doing that, providing that self-care in very basic, simple ways to ourselves. So that is the week in a nutshell. I wanted to end. There we go. I wanted to end by invoking the degree frequency for this gate where Venus is going to be. There was a lot of really incredible Sabian and Chandra symbols in this week that I could have chosen or picked out, but I chose to do this, the one where Venus is meeting with the moon again at that crown chakra gate, that first gate of her descent journey. And it's the degree frequency is Pisces 28, because we always round up for these. And John Sandbach, in his book, The Circular Temple, he has actually channeled through 4 separate degree symbol systems. And the degree symbols are a word picture for each of those 360 degrees of the circle. And so his summary, his title for this Pisces 28 degree that weaves together all of the different symbols, the Sabian symbol, the Chandra symbols, for this Pisces 28 is the need to give voice to one's deepest feelings in a manner which transcends the coercion of worldly experience, or in a more pithy way, focus on and protection of one's inner world. And his Omega symbol for this is a shy poet in hiding, talking about a very sensitive spirit is here and a great need to be attuned to the self in a supportive way so that what it needs to express may come forth. And the Chandra symbol for this same degree is a horde of monkeys chattering. And you might think, what do those two have together? They're, as he says, they are diametrically opposed, but really it's showing us the 2 different sides of the same coin, that it's only by going within, it's only by making that safe space to believe our own intuitions, our own poetic, creative knowings, that we can give room for them to grow and give room for our own connection to them and belief in them, and being able to rest in that place of our own knowing that we are our own inner spiritual creative authority. And that is our only defense against the hordes of chattering monkeys, which I think we can all come up with scenarios for that in the current times that we're living in the dominant culture. That so, and especially with these energies with Mars and Pluto and the Sun this week, so easy to get pulled out by whatever is that chattering monkey for you, those voices in the head that just won't be quiet. And it's really come the time to go within, trust our own voice, find that still space within, so that we're not pulled off course by that. And it's a practice. It's not something that we're all going to be wonderfully good at and that's going to be accomplished in a day or a week or a month, but just the reminder that is the theme with these strong energies with both Venus and Mars. And yes, and I wanted to mention, of course, as I said, Mars is in the evening sky and will be into mid-November. But he's just so visible right now at that high point of the sky. And Venus is in the morning sky, as I said, approaching her brightest, although she's going to continue to be in the morning sky through November. So they're both very visible, but in opposite parts of the sky. The saga that they're sharing right now is the underworld saga, where they only come together in the underworld. They never come together visibly. We're not going to be able to see them in the morning or evening sky together. So to me, that's really a marker of it's so important to develop that feminine, that inner feminine, and the inner masculine for each of us separately, to give them their own space and their own voice and their own reality, so that when they do come together in that potent alchemical underworld, it has reverberations, it has soul reverberations. It's not just even so much literalized on the outside, but that deep, um, a deep inner sacred marriage. And our best way to prepare for that and approach that is to drop into the heart, because they're both in water over stories, Cancer and Pisces. That compassion, that wanting to serve that we feel, to bring that out into the world, and to be sure that we're creating safe space for ourselves first and foremost, that we're turning that compassion on ourselves. And again, using it consciously, especially this week and this month, this Venus gate, to make safe space for our own new ideas and creative urgings coming through. So that's the transmission for this week. Thank you very much for being here, and I look forward to being with you again next week.